Time that government shutdown, it is now set to take place at midnight tonight. If Democrats and Republicans can't continue to get to a last-minute deal, Emily Wilkins joins us in D.C. right now with the latest. Where are we?
I mean, Andrew, at this point, the government's just hurtling towards a shutdown. There doesn't seem to be any sort of off-ramp here. You know, the Senate, they are expected to vote later today on continuing current funding until November. That's unlikely to get the needed 7 or 8 Democrats that would have to join Republicans to actually get that measure passed. They've got that 60-vote threshold. Democrats are just continuing to push for a number of healthcare things, specifically those tax credits to prevent an increase in some insurance costs if you get your insurance through the Affordable Care Act marketplace. And yesterday we had that big White House meeting, but after it, the tone was not particularly productive. Vice President J.D. Vance said that Democrats were holding the government hostage to get what they want.
I think we're headed to a shutdown because the Democrats won't do the right thing. I hope they change their mind, but we're going to see.
Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer said after the meeting that it would ultimately be up to Trump to make the final call.
It's now in the president's hands. He can avoid a shutdown if he gets the Republican leaders to go along with what we want.
So both sides really dug in there, and Trump so far has not weighed in on what he would like to see with the Affordable Care Act tax credits. And at this point, we're already seeing signs of exactly what we're going to expect in a shutdown situation. Bureau of Labor Statistics confirmed yesterday that if there is still a shutdown on Friday, we're not going to be able to get job numbers that could impact data collection. And of course, guys, that's just one of hundreds of things that could happen as we go into a government shutdown. Andrew?
It affects our show and what we get to say about Friday. Can I ask you a question? I see some light somehow. I just can't tell whether Democrats would agree to the period between the CR, do the CR, and then you have time before Obamacare set up. There's ways of doing this that I think they talked about. I think J.D. Vance even said they had some reasonable ideas. I think the president said some reasonable ideas. Right now, you can make a lot of money as an insurance company signing up people that don't even know that they have the Obamacare because the subsidies from COVID are still intact. But there's a way of tightening that up a little that I think Republicans would agree to that would satisfy Democrats. But it's good. I think Republicans are going to say it has to be after you do the CR.
Joe, that's exactly, you summed it up really well. I mean, a lot of them have said, look, we're open to a potential extension. We have to address fraud. A number of them have also talked to me about putting an income cap, going back to that as far as who's actually eligible to get the tax credits. And there's, again, bipartisan support on this. That's the reason why of all the things Dems are asking for, we keep coming back to this one. It's actually doable. But yes, Republicans have basically said, look, we have to keep the government funded. These are two separate issues. We're not going to combine them into one. Once we fund the government, then we can talk about it. But for Democrats, I think a number of folks in their party, A, they want to show a fight right now. They want to use the leverage that they have. And B, they believe that this is a winning issue for them, that when you talk about health care, when you talk about insurance prices rising, that this is something they can actually push for and potentially get. But I know I asked Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries the other day, can there be a way that if there's just a verbal agreement, Democrats might go ahead and agree to give the votes to keep the government open? Jeffrey said it has to be in legislation. Would be interested to know how many Senate Democrats also hold that position.
The Freudian slip was what that was.
But Emily, the idea of having this in legislation, their point is they don't trust them. They don't think they will go ahead with this. But at the same time, this is the Democrats kowtowing to the progressives who are up in arms over this, that they are, ready to primary Schumer if he doesn't give them what they want.
Becky, that's absolutely the dynamic here. I mean, you saw last time it was Schumer and a number of other more moderate Senate Democrats go along back in March to keep the government open. You saw a huge blowback to that and a lot of concerns that were raised about whether Democrats were going to be able to try to fight and push back. And the fact of the matter is when you have a Republican trifecta like you do right now, there really isn't a lot of ability for the minority party to push back. And so that's part of what they're doing here. It is a bit bit of messaging in terms of the base, indeed, as well as just playing politics as far as what they're trying to get done. And I think, of course, the big question is, if we do go into a shutdown, are we going to see those massive federal layoffs that the Trump White House has threatened? And what is that ultimately going to look like? Because from the guidance, it's not clear if that could be 10,000. It's not clear it could be 100,000. It could be even more than that. And then what impact is that going to have on the economy?
Well, I can tell you when we have Leader Thune and Johnson, I can tell you, here's what some of the talking points would be. The Democrats voted 13 times under the Biden administration for a clean CR. We're going to hear that there is a bill on Schumer's desk that keeps the government open, and all you need to do is bring it up and vote on it. So when you say it's Trump, if you don't do what we want, we're shutting down the government, there's no way that translates to it's Trump's fault we're shutting down the government. That translates to if you don't do what we want, even though we're the minority party, we're shutting down the government. So I think Trump's right. Now, maybe, Schumer's got his own problems with AOC, and he acquiesced, I guess, last time. But it's a walking, quacking duck with a yellow bill. We know what it is.
The situation, I mean, if you look at previous shutdowns in 2018 and 2013, it does kind of mirror a bit of a situation where there is a smaller group. They want to be able to get something done. They try to use the shutdown scenario to get leverage. And I think there is a big question. I mean, when everything comes out in the wash, if we go into a shutdown, come out of a shutdown, who winds up getting the blame? And at this point, either side is kind of pointing the finger saying, hey, it's the other guys, it's not us. I think it'll wind up being up to the American people probably to decide that at the end of the day.
Pointing the finger, you said. Okay, you're right. Yeah, point.
Thank you, Emily. We will. It sounds like you're not going to sleep for a while, so we'll see.
Cat naps, Emily. That's
we'll see you in the morning tomorrow. See how the movie plays out at 11:58 and 11:59.